Have yourself a scary little Christmas. Good evening. Welcome once again to Frightnite Theater. I'm your host, Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason. By the way, thanks to Dave and Lois for another fine introduction. I kind of get the impression Dave's making fun of us. You get that impression? Maybe I have to send him a creepy cup or something. You know, Lois and I are kind of tight. Maybe Dave is just jealous. I don't know. Anyway, we're brought to you tonight by KRXQ 93 Rock. Also brought to you by the shop in Roseville. Yeah, Skating Hobbies. Big grand opening up there in Roseville. So you want to go up there and tell them Whitey sent you, and they'll say, who? A movie I'm very pleased to show you tonight, Randy Quaid, Mary Beth Hurt in Parents. I like this film because it's one in which what is suggested is much more terrifying than what is actually shown. That is until the climax, which is very terrifying. And then there's an added little twist at the very end that really drives the point home. Parents is a story of a young boy who is troubled by suspicions that his parents eat the most horrible thing you can imagine. Yeah, airline food. I'm kidding. I just don't want to spoil any of the surprises for you. And there are plenty of them in Parents. You want to stay with this one all the way through because the big payoff is at the very end. Another reason you want to stay with us all the way through tonight is because we're giving away the official Creepmeister Frightnite t-shirt. A t-shirt I've worn here for the last 3 years. Ooh, might have to have that one washed. But anyway, somebody's going to win that tonight. We're going to play Guess the Bogus B-Movie Title 2. And since it is the season to be jolly and all that, we're going to start decorating the old Frightnite Christmas twig. I got the decorations down today. Yeah, and all these decorations people sent me, like Teresa Robinson from Lathrop sent me this last year. And, of course, Randy Davis sent me the King Kong. I'm hoping you might send me some decorations this year. We'll talk about that more tonight. But first, let's get to Parents right here on Frightnite Theater. Have yourself a scary.
The following program may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Frightnite Theater, Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason tonight. Parents, a movie that is considered a black comedy. Can you believe that? I don't think it's that funny, but I do enjoy the movie. By the way, brought to you again tonight by the shop in Roseville, big grand opening weekend. It's another satisfied customer. Parents starring Randy Quaid, who, as you may know, just played Frankenstein's monster in the TNT version of Frankenstein. And I'll tell you, Randy Quaid gets very monstrous towards the end of tonight's movie. Like I said, you want to stay with this one all the way through, because at the end, man, it is weird. All right, now it's time to give away the old Creepmeister Maximus t-shirt. The t-shirt I've worn here on the show for the last couple of years. It's like a security blanket to me, and I hate to give this away, but we decided to do it since I got a new shirt. A lot of people wrote in this week telling me why they are worthy of my t-shirt, and it's hard to decide who to give it to here. Ed McDowell says he should get the shirt because he sat through Tentacles and Squirm and Frogs, Food of the Gods, Ben, The Nest, Dead Heat, Chud. Man, Ed, not even I sat through Food of the Gods, and I was hosting that sucker. So Ed certainly is deserving. Franny from Antioch says, I just want to hear my name on TV, and I should get the shirt because my dog ate all my clothes. So, you know, Franny is deserving. Patrick O'Connor says, I want the shirt because I thought I'd have better luck with you than I've had with Regis and Kathy Lee. Patrick probably should be writing for the show. He's deserving. Kelly and Carl say, hey, we're the only ones dumb enough to stay up and watch all your movies. And I'm finding, Kelly and Carl, that's not quite true. There are a lot of people just as dumb as you who watch all the movies. Jean Trapp, it's her birthday on December 9th, so she's deserving. And Casey Hope sent me this weird spider tray thing that I'll try to show you later on, so Casey is deserving. Nadia Hamada, she writes these long letters. She's deserving. Jamie says, I'm worthy, I'm deserving just because I am. I promise. You have to take my word for it. Jamie, I'm afraid I don't have to take your word for it. The winner, though, of the t-shirt, Heather Dyke, who says, I'm so scary looking that I would make a great advertisement for the show. And that's great logic. Heather Dyke, the winner of the official Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason t-shirt. Wear it with pride, Heather. We're going to play Guess the Bogus B-Movie title next break. Now let's get back to more Randy Quaid, Mary Beth Hurt in Parents.
How come you're so tall? I was left back.
Welcome back to Frightnite Theater. Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason tonight. Parents starring Mary Beth Hurt and Randy Quaid. Mary Beth Hurt, you might remember from The World According to Garp. And what do you think? You think these people really are cannibals tonight? Oh! Oh, this is disgusting. I don't want pickles on this. There, that's better. Oh! Okay, that's a little tough, and besides, it's rude to eat in front of people. Forgive me. Right now, it's time to play Guess the Bogus B-Movie title, and we have to wrap up our previous edition, which we played, I think, actually was a couple of weeks ago. Paula Spillard says the Bogus B-Movie title, the one I made up, was Gourmet Zombie Chef from Hell. Well, Paula, that's an actual B movie, so you don't win. I'm sorry. Thanks for playing. Lillian Wong says the B movie title, the one that I made up, is Mama Dracula. Nope, Lillian, that actually is a real B movie. So the winner is Paul Palms. He had won previously, but he's the only one who got this right. He knew that the B movie title that I had made up, the bogus B movie title, was Man-Eating Mannequins Massacre. Yeah, Paul Palms, the winner from previous edition, guessed the bogus B movie title. We're going to play again. Here's how you play. Here's the address you write to. All right, I'm going to read you here 3 B movie titles. One of them is bogus. One of them I made up. You write to me, you let me know which one you think I made up, and you can win a Frightnite keychain, perhaps a creepy cup too. Okay, now here come the 3 titles in question. Which one did I make up here? Title number 1, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Number 2, The Vending Machine Vampire. Yeah, right, The Vending Machine Vampire. Or title number 3, They Saved Hitler's Brain. They saved Hitler's brain. Can you guess the bogus B-movie title? Remember, in case of a tie, you have to tell me why you should win. So I look forward to receiving your entry here. Now let's get back to more. Randy Quaid, Mary Beth Hurt, Parents on Frightnite Theater. Bon appetit.
Oh. Striking rich. And in striking rich.
Funny business.
Miss Whitey Gleason tonight, Parents. Isn't this a disgusting movie? Okay. Makes me hungry. Yeah, but it is a disgusting movie. Sandy Dennis is the woman who plays the counselor. Boy, she gets it in the end. I don't want to say anything. Boy, wait till you see what happens to her. I want to take just a moment to thank some of the people who wrote to me. We get so much mail here, I can't mention all the letters all the time, but Tisha Gold, very nice letter. Thank you, Tisha. Also, Hideous Heather Hope. Ooh, that's pretty frightening there. Deneen Esty, very nice letter. Very nice stationery, Deneen, and I always appreciate that. Also, Tony from Stockton wrote. And lots of people. AJ wrote to me here from Sacramento. And you know what? The last few years, people have been sending us little ornaments for our Frightnite Christmas twig right here. For example, let's see, who's this from? This is from Matthew Robinson, who was 4 years old when he sent us this. It says, Merry Scary Christmas. Has an honored place on our Christmas tree twig. And we got lots of weird stuff here. I don't know who sent this, but I love to put this on the tree every year if I can find a place for it. Anyway. What do you think? You think you could send us a creepy ornament for the holiday season? Well, here's the address once again. You send me your weird ornament. I'll put it on the tree here, get your name on the air, and we'll get you, if we can, a creepy cup and a keychain. And again, that's also the address to write to if you want to play Guess the Bogus B-Movie title. Titles in question this week: Killer Clowns from Outer Space, The Vending Machine Vampire, They Saved Hitler's Brain. Can you guess the bogus B-movie title? If you can, you can win some neat stuff. So hope to hear from you here. By the way, speaking of Christmas, Nadia Hamadas wrote and said, hey, what's the movie on Christmas this year? Because Frightnite is on Christmas. It's going to be Scrooge, the greatest ghost story of all time. So it's going to be a very scary Christmas right there in Frightnite. Now let's get back to Parents on Frightnite Theater. Meister Maximus Whitey Gleason tonight, Parents, directed by a gentleman named Bob Balaban, of course, immortalized in the song Bob, 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 Bob Balaban. I promised you earlier I would try to show you what Casey Hope sent, and here it is, a holiday platter of spiders. Oh boy, it wouldn't be the holidays without a platter of spiders, would it? Thank you very much, Casey Hope. He's the Freak of the Year, and he certainly lives up to that title by sending us this thing, whatever it is. I want to take a moment to thank some of the other people who wrote to us. Pat Callahan says, Whitey, if there wasn't Fright Night, I'd have to get up early and go to church on Sunday. So glad we can help you out, Pat Callahan. Also heard from Poor Guy Zhang, better known as Rocky. Very nice letter from Poor Guy Zhang. And Gene wrote to us, too. And so did Marty Chana from Sacramento. And I hope to hear from you this week. Here's the address once again for you to write to. I kind of hope you'd send me a Christmas ornament for the old Fright Night Christmas twig. If you do, I'll mention your name on the air, and we'll show the ornament on the air, and we'll put it on the twig here. And also, you can win a Fright Night Creepy Cup keychain by playing Guess the Bogus B-Movie title. Once again, quickly, the 3 titles in question here: Killer Clowns from Outer Space, The Vending Machine Vampire, and They Saved Hitler's Brain. Can you guess which one of those I made up? If you can win some neat stuff from us. See you next week for Return of the Living Dead, which is kind of a spoof of the Living Dead movies. Pretty funny, a little bit scary, too. And speaking of scary, let's get to the shattering conclusion now of Parents right here on Fright Night Theater. Might want to grab a snack before the end of this one.
Michael, are you...
Good evening. Welcome once again to Frightnite Theater, where the noose comes first. Okay, off to a bad start. I'm your host, Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason, brought to you tonight once again by KRXQ 93 Rock, my day job. I want to thank everybody who's been sending us ornaments for the Frightnite Christmas twig. Got some cool stuff. I'll give you a look at that. But first, I want to let you know about tonight's movie, The Prey. This is the story of some teenagers. They're hiking in the Rockies, but something is stalking them. Something is after them. And I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you it's not human, and it has an axe. Okay, some of you are saying The Prey. I've never heard of this movie. Why should I watch? Well, I'll tell you, The Prey, when it came out in 1980, it swept the Academy Awards. It won all the major Oscars. You might not have heard about that because of the anti-horror bias in Hollywood. And, of course, The Prey, all-time box office champion. I think it grossed like $500 million when it was released. So I'm surprised you haven't seen it. Maybe you were busy that summer. And who's in this movie? Well, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I seem to remember, like Redford, Newman, Michelle Pfeiffer, Schwarzenegger, some big stars in The Prey tonight. I made some of that up, but Jackie Coogan is in it. You remember him, Uncle Fester? Yeah, so actually not a bad movie for a slasher movie. A lot of fun, surprise ending in The Prey tonight. Also, we're going to play Guess the Bogus B-movie title, so it should be a fun show. The Prey, right here on Frightnite Theater. Early for Santa. Gleason, just going to work here on the old Christmas twig, and I got a real special ornament here. I want to make sure you get a good look at this in a little bit. Just had to get that down. The Prey tonight. Have you noticed, I noticed this on prom night, when the producers have an actor who's maybe in his 20s and they want to make him look like he's a teenager, what do? They grow his hair out and they make him wear shirts that are way too small. You know, and they walk around like this and they're supposed to look like they're growing young boys, and they look like geeks. I'll tell you, whatever that thing is that has an axe in this movie, that's who I'm rooting for, because these teenagers are about as obnoxious as the kids on Barney. Right now it's time to play Guess the Bogus B-movie title. We played last week. I'll announce last week's winners in our next break, but it's time for another edition. Here's how you play. First of all, the address that you write to. And what I'm going to do here is give you 3 B-movie titles. One of them I made up. The other 2 are true. If you can guess which one I made up, why, you can win a Frightnite keychain and Creepy Cup. Beautiful Christmas package we're offering. And, of course, you have to let me know why you should win in case of the tie, okay? So the tiebreaker, why should I give the prizes to you? The titles in question this time we have, number 1, Please Don't Eat My Mother. Please Don't Eat My Mother. You think that's a real one? How about number 2 here? Punk Rock Cannibal Cruisers. Punk Rock Cannibal Cruisers. Didn't we show that on Friday night once? I don't know. And finally, number 3, The Ghost in the Invisible Bikini. The Ghost in the Invisible Bikini. Can you guess the Bogus B-movie title? If you can, wow, write to me, and you could win a Frightnite keychain and a Creepy Cup, too. Now, before we get back to The Prey, I want to give you a look at this ornament that Kevin sent to us. This is really bizarre. Looks like it's a couple of jaws from a couple of different animals, and the eyes in there. This is one of the most amazing ornaments I've ever received. Now, let's get back to The Prey on Frightnite Theater. Ow, jeez.
What do you think we should do?
The Creepmeister Maximus, Whitey Gleason, tonight The Prey. Hey, stick around for the end of this, because it's really weird. Now, last time we showed it, I fell asleep before the end, but I understand a really strange ending here, bizarre twist to the ending. You know, we get a lot of mail here. How do we thank everybody who writes to us? It's difficult. So what we've done here is come up with the old screaming scroll. Remember this? This is just our way of saying thanks to all the people who write to us. I now present the Frightnite screaming scroll. Here it comes. Watch out. It's kind of scary. Oh, kind of terrifying. While we're enjoying that, boy, I could sit here and watch this all day. While we're enjoying that, let's wrap up last week's edition of Guess the Bogus... Did that say long necker? Guess the Bogus B-movie title. Kevin Alvarado and Jason White thought the Bogus B-movie title last week was Shirley Thompson versus the Aliens. That's a real movie title, an Australian film, so you guys don't win. Hunter Hill thought the Bogus B-movie title was Umu Umu the Shark God, and who could blame him? Hunter even made a Umu Umu the Shark God ornament for our tree. Going far beyond the Call of Duty there, but Hunter, that's an actual movie. I think it was made in 1949 or so, Umu Umu the Shark God. So the Bogus B-movie title from last week was The Christmas Tree That Ate People. And for the first time, a 4-way tie. Jim Pierce says, everything's edible on a tree, just ask Ewell Gibbons. You know, that's a Christmas joke, Ewell Gibbons. And believe it or not, I'm going to give him prizes. Carla Miller says she got it. She also says your Bogus B-movie title game has been so easy, it's pitiful, it's sad, it's boring. So, you know, she knows everything, so what the heck, give her some prizes to get her off my back. But thanks a lot for the nice letter. Marilyn Lizak says, I watched Fright Night Theater for the first time. What an experience. And since she watched for the first time and guessed it was the Christmas tree that ate people, want to give prizes to Marilyn and welcome her to our Fright Night family. Marilyn, someday maybe you'll be on the Screaming Scroll. I think you just were this week, in fact. And our other winner is Daniel Pantega, who says, I think that The Christmas Tree That Ate People is the made-up movie because my Aunt June in Goldfield, Nevada eats parts of tumbleweeds and Christmas trees, and if that movie was true, her Christmas tree would attack and eat her. Brilliant logic, Daniel. You're a winner on Guess the Bogus B-movie title. Now back to The Prey on Fright Night Theater. That was fun, huh? The scroll thing. In theater tonight, The Prey, and here I am just desperately looking for things to keep myself awake, amuse myself. And what do I find? Well, all these wonderful ornaments that people have sent to me. This is from Scott Holdsclaw and Lorraine, and it's like a Mrs. Pinhead. And that's cool. That's going to go on the old Christmas twig. And also, R.T. Lloyd is the guy who sent the Jack Skellington last week, and I didn't thank him because I lost his letter or something. Thank you very much, R.T. This is terrifying. It's a spooky skeleton guy from Ryan Cox. I tell you, when I opened this, I couldn't sleep for 3 days because I got the heebie-jeebies, but thanks, that'll go on the twig. This is from Wolf and Flea. Sent a picture. There's Wolf there with no shirt on, and I could get in a lot of trouble if I showed you that. And what else we have here? Jason and Kevin sent an upside-down ornament of Homer Simpson. Oh, that's pretty good. And also Daniel and Diana Kelly. Diana made this candle with these creepy spider things and all this, looks like part of Santa's beard on it. Yeah, and Daniel made this weird death's head guy. So would you like to send me something? I'll send you a creepy cup or a Fright Night keychain. And here's the address. Once again, boy, you don't get enough of this address. Write to me here. Send me an ornament. I'll get it on the Christmas twig in time for next week's big Christmas show. We're going to show Scrooge next week with Albert Finney right here on Fright Night. The all-time greatest ghost story. Is there a better way to spend Christmas than with me? Well, for your sake, I hope there is, but out of pity at least, could you join me? And now, before we get back to The Prey, I want to thank a guy. He's been running the camera here since Gaylord left. Max, it's his last show with us. Max, come on out. Come on out from behind the camera. Max, you know him. He's played, what did he play? Wednesday Addams. He's played Marty Feldman. And Max, why don't you just throw it back now to The Prey? Thanks for, Max, Merry Christmas. Come on, Merry Christmas. Come on, throw it back now to The Prey on Fright Night. You've been watching me do it. Come on. Well, you got to say it. Yeah, come on, loud. Come on.
Back to
The Prey. The Prey.
Yeah, The Prey, that's it.
Back to the movie.
To 29.
Merry Christmas from all of us here at Fright Night Theater. I'm flattered that you'd invite us into your home tonight. Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason, your host. I know I'm the Creepmeister Maximus because now I have a hat that says I am. Nadia Hamada sent this to me for Christmas. Thank you very much, Nadia. A lot of people sent us ornaments for Christmas. Check out this ornament from Drinda Littleton. Now, I'm not sure if Drinda is a man or a woman, but as long as Drinda knows, that's all that matters. Little reindeer here, little Rudolph. The antlers are skeletons, and inside there's a little Santa Claus. Oh, check that out. A lot of great ornaments. We'll get to those later, but first I want to let you know about tonight's movie, Scrooge. Albert Finney and Alec Guinness, great cast. They had a lot of fun making this movie, which came out in 1970, based, of course, on the Dickens Christmas classic, A Christmas Carol. And the effects during the ghost scenes in this movie are pretty good. Yeah, in parts, this will scare the Dickens out of you. Sorry about that. But why are we showing Scrooge tonight? Well, because it is Christmas, and also because it's one of the most famous ghost stories of all time. So Scrooge tonight on Fright Night. Plus, we're going to play Guess the Bogus B-movie title, and I have this weird kind of feeling that I may be visited by spirits from another world, or at least spirits from Rio Linda. So please don't go away. I need you with me here. Scrooge tonight on Fright Night. Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoy it. Dishpan hands. I hope you're enjoying Scrooge. Many versions of this movie have been made. My favorite is the reggae one, in which they combined the characters of Jacob Marley and Bob Cratchit and had Bob Marley in there. That one was jamming. I got a couple of neat postcards here. Very nice postcards. Cosmo and Biff. Good to have them watching. Cosmo and Biff say, we hope management breaks down and spends some bucks on some scary movies next year. I'm with you, Cosmo and Biff. And Michelle Goff says, watch you all the time, but those goofy movies have to go, go, go. Well, a lot of people complain from time to time about the movies here, and I have a feeling that's why this character is here, the ghost of Frightnite Future. Now, are you upset because of some of the films we've shown, like Frogs and stuff like that? Well, see, with Frogs, what happened was I thought it was The Fog, you know, the John Carpenter movie, The Fog, and I misread the label, and then it was too late to do anything about it. But we're going to work on better movies for you, Mr. Ghost of Frightnite Future. Like next week, Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Would that be okay with you? That's the best I can do. That's next week on Fright Night Theater. If it's okay, Mr. Ghost, can we play Guess the Bogus B-movie title now? You up for that? All right, let's do it. You know how to play, right? Here's the address you write to, and I'm going to give you 3 B-movie titles. One of them is bogus. One of them I made up. If you can guess which one I made up, you can win a Fright Night Theater keychain and a Fright Night Creepy Cup. So here come those titles. Listen closely now. Which one did I make up? Title number 1, My Mama the Mutilator. What, you think that one might be the fake one, Mr. Ghost? My Mama the Mutilator. Number 2, this is a mouthful. The Fearless Vampire Killers, or Pardon Me, But Your Teeth Are in My Neck. Fearless Vampire Killers, or Pardon Me, But Your Teeth Are in My Neck. Title number 3, Eegah. That's E-E-G-A-H. Eegah. Can you guess the bogus B-movie title? Well, write to me. Let me know which one you think I made up. You can win some neat stuff. Now let's get back to Scrooge right here on Fright Night Theater. To Fright Night Theater tonight, Scrooge. As you may have noticed by now, when the songs come on, good idea to go grab a sandwich or something till they blow over. Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason, joined by the ghost of Fright Night Future. Nice to have you on the show, Mr. Ghost. I'm sorry about that. Right now, it's time to enjoy the Fright Night Theater Screaming Scroll, our way of saying thanks to everyone who's written to us this week. If you wrote to us, you'll see your name up there, our way of saying thanks. As I said, while we're enjoying that, Christmas trivia for you. You know the 12 Days of Christmas, you know that song, right, Mr. Ghost? Now, if you were to buy all the items in that song, do you know how much it would cost if you actually purchased all these things? $15,700 this year. That's what it would cost you. Of course, cost would vary depending on what exactly you want your 8 maids of milk to milk. But that's just some Christmas trivia for you. Now back to Scrooge. You enjoying the film? Scrooge on Fright Night Theater. Glance at tonight's Screaming Scroll on Fright Night Theater. Here it comes, and there it goes. Yeah, wasn't that fun? By the way, last week on Guess the Bogus B-Movie title, there were no winners. The bogus title was Punk Rock Cannibal Cruisers. It was multiple choice, and nobody got it. That is pathetic. I want to thank the Fright Night Ghost for joining us, Ghost of Fright Night Future. See you next week on Fright Night for Mountaintop Motel Massacre, and Merry Christmas.
For $20 million, right? Well, that's it for the primetime news here on Channel 58. Stay tuned now for Fright Night Theater. Tonight's movie is Mountaintop Motel Massacre. You'll want to see that.
Yeah, rates are good, though.
We'll see you back here.
Good evening. Welcome once again to Fright Night Theater. And Happy New Year from all of us here at Fright Night. Foofy the Bunny and Felicia. I've asked Felicia to take down the Christmas twig. Look at that. She's just sitting there doing nothing. We're brought to you tonight by KRXQ 93 Rock, where you can hear me every morning with Justin Case and Allison Miller having a lot of fun on the morning show. And we're going to have a lot of fun right here tonight, in spite of our movie, Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Is there a better movie with which to start the new year? Well, there are probably quite a few, but that's what we've got tonight. Mountaintop Motel Massacre, starring Anna Chapel. And let me set the stage for you. We've got this mountaintop, and then there's this motel there, and then some people get massacred. So I think we've got, actually, it's a typical 80s slasher film. We'll talk about that. Why were there so many slasher films during the 1980s? Interesting. And also tonight, we'll wrap up last week's edition of Guess the Bogus B-Movie title. We've got a creepy question that might earn you a Fright Night keychain and a Fright Night Creepy Cup. And we've got some New Year's scare-olutions, too. 1994, looking pretty good here on Fright Night. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to the end of Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Here it comes right here on Fright Night Theater. You'll enjoy it.
The following program may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Mountaintop Motel Massacre. I'm your host, Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason. Anna Chapel is in this movie. I'm not real familiar with her. A lot of people think that Tom Bodett is in this movie, but no, that's Mountaintop Motel 6 Massacre. You're getting a little confused. We'll leave an X out for you. Coming up here on Fright Night Theater, some big movies in 1994. All kidding aside, if I may, just for a moment, going to be a great year. We have The Borrower coming up very soon. We also have The Kiss, Joanna Pacula, always a Fright Night favorite. And we have Stephen King's It. Yeah, two-parter right here on Fright Night Theater. Next week, we've got something called Cellar Dweller, about a comic book monster that comes to life. And that brings us to this week's creepy question. You write to me at this particular address, and let me know what's the creepiest thing you've ever found in your cellar. Once again, we're looking for creepy creativity. You could win a Fright Night keychain and a Fright Night creepy cup. Creepiest thing you've ever found in your cellar. Let me know. Also, you can share with me your Fright Night New Year's Scareolutions. What do you have planned for the new year? For example, my Scareolution #1 here, I will not show Mars Needs Women on Fright Night Theater. That's my Scareolution. If I do show it, I'll try to warn you ahead of time. Another Scareolution, I am not going to be mean to Foofy the Bunny anymore because he's my pal. So Foofy, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to be mean to the old Foofster anymore. Let's get back now to Mountaintop Motel Massacre on Fright Night. Foofy, still. Last week. New Year, Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason tonight, Mountaintop Motel Massacre. A lot of slasher films done during the 80s. You know, I get a lot of mail here. People make references to Bob Wilkins, who used to host Creature Features. And I did have lunch with him before I hosted this show. One thing he told me, he said he would never host a slasher film. He thought they were too violent, and he never did host a slasher film. It's time to wrap up last week's edition of Guess the Bogus B-movie title. What was the B-movie that I made up, the title I made up? Jenny Coleman says the bogus movie is Ega. Ega, E-E-G-A-H. Ega. Well, Jenny, that is an actual movie. It was kind of a caveman thing, kind of a funky, I believe it might have been an Italian film. Ega was a real movie, so Jenny, you don't win. I'm sorry. Karen Z says the bogus B-movie is The Ghost in the Invisible Bikini. That is also an actual movie. I wish Karen could have won here. She says, in case of a tie, I should win because you would be very, very proud of the surprise I have in the fireplace waiting for Santa. Eow. Hugs and kisses, Karen Z. Wow. Karen, I'm sorry, though, I can't award you prizes. Bill McDowell. Bill McDowell, our winner on Guess the Bogus B-movie title. He says, I'd like to take a stab at it. My Mama the Mutilator. Yes, Bill, you're right. My Mama the Mutilator is the bogus B-movie title. So, Bill, you win a Fright Night Creepy Cup and a keychain. Would you like one? Well, then you write to me. Here's the address. And our movie next week, Cellar Dweller. So what you need to do, answer this week's creepy question. What's the creepiest thing you ever found in your cellar? As always, we're looking for creepy creativity. Also, you can share with me one of your Fright Night Scareolutions, one of your resolutions for the new year. For example, Felicia here says her resolution, she's going to get her body into shape better for 1994. And, you know, my resolution, one of them, not to be so mean to Foofy, and I got mad last time and threw him, but we're buddies, and I know that he is not going to hold that against me. Right, Foofy? Okay, let's get back now to Mountaintop Motel Massacre on Fright Night. Sorry, Foofy. Do it again.
The following program depicts...
Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason. I have to apologize. I kind of tossed Foofy in the direction of the camera here, and he got stuck on here. Sorry about that. I do apologize. He's okay, though. He's very tough. He's very durable. Tonight, Mountaintop Motel Massacre. I want to thank everybody who sent us ornaments for the Christmas twig. Time to take that down, which is always emotional for me. Felicia's supposed to be taking that down. As you can see, she's done nothing. But anyway, we're going to put all these away and bring them back next year. So if you send us something, thanks very much, and we'll get it out again next year. And I want to thank everybody who wrote to me again this week. Polly Martin sent a nice letter. Polly from Clements, and she wants to know what movies are coming up in the next couple of weeks on Fright Night. Next week, Polly, we've got Cellar Dweller with Yvonne DiCarlo, although she's put on a few pounds. And we also have the week after that, Evil Speak, starring Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, and for my money, the ugliest man in show business. We'll find out. You'll see what I mean. Evil Speak coming up in a couple of weeks here on Fright Night. Also a nice letter from Deborah Franklin and Nadia Hamadas. Another long letter from Nadia. You know, right now she is the favorite in the Freak of the Year competition. Every February we announce a Freak of the Year, and it looks like Nadia has the inside track right now. And coming up in February, woo, some big movies on Fright Night, as I mentioned earlier. The Borrower, The Kiss, and Stephen King's It. Two-parter, so lots to look forward to right here on Fright Night in 1994. Now let's look forward to the rest of Mountaintop Motel Massacre, huh? On Fright Night Theater. Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Good brain food. Did you see the KSCH TV 58 float in the Rancho Cordova New Year's Day parade today? It was incredible. Mountaintop Motel Massacre tonight. Sure, I know the acting's not that great. There's really nobody in it. But the print is grainy, you know? And best of all, it's almost over. New Year, same turkey movies here on Fright Night Theater. But if I may be serious just for a moment, slasher films in the 80s. I'm thinking, you know, the 80s, that makes sense because the 80s, the me decade, the Reagan years, the rise of yuppies, and people were just a little more self-centered and cruel, and maybe that's a reflection of, well, Poopy, you're right. I probably shouldn't get so philosophical here. Thanks for the reminder, buddy. And speaking of reminders, next week on Fright Night, we've got Cellar Dweller, starring Yvonne DiCarlo, the story of this woman who draws this comic strip monster. The thing comes to life, and it comes out of the cellar. Can you imagine that? Check it out next week. And our creepy question for next week, here's the address you write to me. Let me know, what's the creepiest thing you ever found in your basement? Yeah, it's, I'm going to have to write, oh, there's the address. I was going to write it down and show you. Creepiest thing you've ever found in your own basement. As always, we're looking for creepy creativity. You could win a Fright Night Creepy Cup, a Fright Night keychain. We're getting new Creepy Cups, new keychains for the new year. And it's going to be a great 1994 here, but I want to take just a moment to pause and reflect on all the fun and all the great times and all the great moments we had right here on Fright Night in 1993. And, well, off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I'll have to get back to you next week. But it's been fun, and it's going to be more fun all year long right here on Fright Night. Speaking of fun, now back to the conclusion of Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Right here on Fright Night. See you next week. Enjoy the rest of the film. Good evening and welcome once again to Fright Night Theater. I'm your host, Creepmeister Maximus Whitey Gleason, brought to you tonight by KRXQ93 Rock once again. Creepy little movie for you tonight. It's called Cellar Dweller, stars a couple of television veterans. I know you'll recognize them. And it's a story of a comic book artist who creates this monster. The darn thing comes to life and starts eating people. Now, I don't know why she doesn't just get a big bottle of white out and end the thing right there. I suppose we'll find out tonight with Cellar Dweller, starring Yvonne DiCarlo, yeah, Lily Munster, and Vince Edwards, who was Dr. Ben Casey, maybe a little before your time. Also tonight, give you a sneak preview look at the first fearful film of 1994, Body Snatchers. Well, it opens this weekend. Sneak preview of that, give you a look at that. Also tonight, Guess the Bogus B-Movie title returns, and we'll answer last week's creepy question about what's the creepiest thing you ever found in your cellar. So a lot of fun tonight on Fright Night Theater. You don't have anything better to do on Saturday night? No problem. We're going to take care of you with Cellar Dweller right here on Fright Night Theater. It's creepy. Maximus Whitey Gleason tonight, Cellar Dweller, which is weird, and I know if you're enjoying this, you're going to enjoy another movie Tuesday night, 8 p.m. here on TV 58. Talk about weird motion pictures. It's called Nothing But Trouble. Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, John Candy. I want to show you a clip now, a pretty long clip of this movie because I want you to get a real good look at it and see if you can figure out who the judge is in this. This is Nothing But Trouble, Tuesday night at 8 here on TV 58. Check this out.
Revolving District Court for the Village and Shire of Vulcanvania is now in order. The Honorable Reeve Alvin Vulcanizer presides.
Okay, Dennis, give me their licenses, ID, toll tickets, report cards, notes from the teacher.
There you go, Judge. Traffic violation. Contravention of Village Bylaw 23, failing in the execution of a full stop at a place so marked. I recommend fine, bond, and release.
What else you want to do for them? Bake them a pie? Oh, who's Christopher Lawrence Thorne?
That's me, Your Honor. Thorne Financial Publishing, Water Street, New York.
Okay. Banker?
No, banker, no. Financial Publishing. Thorne's Weekly.
Okay, banker. Oh, here. Well, look at this. Passports.
I will have you know that my brother, Fausto, and I enjoy diplomatic immunity in this country.
Okay, well, And you are the Fausto and Rinalda Squeerini. She's we. Friends of the bride.
Yeah, that's right. We all want to get married.
No, sir. No wedding. Moving violation. Failure to stop.
Let's just be quiet and let him do his little thing and we'll be on our way.
Oh, I will let you be on your way. And oh, when you go, the cat's eyes will spin. Now listen.
Okay. We'll listen.
Hey, ho, ha, ho. Hula, 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 the bula, bula, bula. Look who's got the front seats of the Mexican hat dance now. Just like a bunch of spiders in a birthday cake.
That is weird stuff, huh? Nothing but trouble. 8 p.m. Tuesday night here on TV 58. The Judge? That's Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, so you've got to check that movie out Tuesday night. Nothing but trouble right here on TV 58. Still to come tonight. Next break, we're going to play Guess the Bogus B movie title, but now back to Cellar Dweller on Frightnite Theater. Hoo-ha! Yeah.
I love...
Creepmeister Maximus, Whitey Gleason, hope you're enjoying Cellar Dweller. You know, there is a message to this film. Yeah, the message is when you make a horror film, make sure that the monster doesn't look like a guy in a rubber suit. Have you noticed there's like one set, the whole movie? But it's a great film. Yvonne DiCarlo at her very best tonight in Cellar Dweller. Speaking of cellars and whatnot, last week's creepy question, what's the creepiest thing you ever found in your basement? Some terrifying answers. Here's one from Danny Amerson. He says he went into his basement one time, actually it was at his grandparents' house, and he found some stag photos of his grandparents in there. Man, that is scary stuff. But our winner is Rhonda Watkins. She says, creepiest thing I've ever seen in my cellar is my sister dancing around naked singing Barry Manilow songs. Looks like we made it. I don't even want to think about that. Rhonda Watkins, winner on this week's creepy question. Now it's time for another game. Time to play Guess the Bogus B movie title. Here is the address to write to. You can win a Fright Night Creepy Cup and a Fright Night keychain. You know how this works, right? You write to me at the...
Good evening once again, my fiends. This is Christopher Coffin, WJRT's Guardian of the Ghouls, appearing here before you to invite you to another delightful visit to the theater of thrills. And tonight, two wonderful...
Always bumping my funny bone on that stupid column anyway. So we were here in our stable. I don't know what became of the horses today. They must have heard you were coming to visit us. We must clean out the stable. You know, our stable boys, John Malone and Mike Houston, have gone into the Frankenstein parts and pieces business, and they have been neglecting the horses' problems back here, but certainly we'll get it straight. We must find someone to clean it up. Well, before we conclude our story, we have two very exciting words for you. We hope you'll watch closely. Entirely possible. Ah, yes. Well, I think I'd better bring myself a little further in here, or I can't read. Ah, that's much better. It's kind of, you know, when you're in the half-life, the light is not too good, and you know, with my tired old eyes, well, you understand, my fiends, don't you? Certainly you do, of course. Well, I was going to read this little letter from East Coldwater Road. It runs in my veins. How about that, Donald? Cold water! Nice. All right. Very good. My chilling TV buddy. You rat, you fink, you slob. This must be for you, Donald. You elephant, you mule, you crab, you monstrous creature. Tell Donald I like him, too. But back to you thinking over those...